When you hear Princess of Wales, you probably picture tiaras, red carpets, and palaces. But Catherine's real daily routine? It looks a lot more like yours than you might think, with early alarms, school runs, work meetings, and tired evenings in comfy clothes. Today, we're going hour by hour through what Princess Catherine's day really looks like. And no, it's not all glamour. Welcome back to the channel, where we go behind the headlines of royal life and look at what really happens when the cameras aren't rolling. In this video, we'll break down a typical weekday for Princess Catherine during school term. How she balances being a hands-on mum with being the future queen. What she actually does when she's not at public engagements. And how different her days look when she has evening galas or royal tours. Quick note before we start, for security and privacy reasons, the palace never publishes Catherine's exact schedule. What you're about to hear is a realistic, research-based reconstruction from her own interviews, royal reporters, and the timing of her public engagements. Think of it as a normal, healthy average day in recent years, not during illness, pregnancy, or big overseas tours. Stay with me until the end, because I'll also talk about the one part of her day that almost never gets filmed, but might be the most important of all. Early morning, before the school run, around 6 to 8 a.m. Let's start early. 6 to 6:30 a.m. wake up and quiet time. Catherine is widely reported to be an early riser. On a normal day based at Windsor, her morning likely starts between 6 o'clock and 6:30 a.m. Before the house gets noisy, there's usually a quick check of the day's schedule and briefings, what engagements she has, who she's meeting, and what issues might come up. A glance at the news and headlines, especially anything related to her charities, early childhood, mental health, and the environment. She's not scrolling for gossip, she's looking for context. 6:30 to 7:15 a.m. workout. Clips of Catherine running, playing tennis, doing sports at engagements. Catherine has openly talked about loving sport and exercise. Over the years, we've heard that she enjoys running, uses gym equipment like rowing machines and bikes, does bodyweight or HIIT-style workouts, and stays active with tennis, hockey, and skiing when she can. So on a typical home day, you can imagine around 30 to 40 minutes of exercise, either in a home gym space or outdoors if the weather's decent. Sometimes with William, sometimes solo, and very often with the kids joining in for a few minutes if they're awake. She's mentioned they love jumping on the trampoline and running around. This isn't a celebrity spa routine. It's practical, staying fit for long days, travel, and very public appearances. 7:15 to 8 a.m. breakfast and getting the children ready. Family-style B-roll, cereal bowls, school uniforms, school bags, Catherine on the school run in past footage. By now, the house at Adelaide Cottage near Windsor is fully awake. George, Charlotte and Louis are all school age, and mornings are about breakfast. Past reports have mentioned things like porridge, fruit, and sometimes smoothies for Catherine. The kids are likely having classic cereal or toast plus fruit. School uniforms and bags, last-minute homework checks, permission slips, PE kits, all the normal chaos every parent knows. Quick family chat about the day ahead. Catherine has repeatedly described herself as a hands-on mother, so these aren't ceremonial moments. She's in the thick of it, tying shoes, checking t-shirts are on the right way, reminding someone not to forget their instrument or sports kit. School run and transition to work mode, 8 to 9:30 a.m. 8 to 8:45 a.m. school drop-off. When Catherine and William are at home and not away on engagements, they're known to try to personally do the school run as often as possible. The children attend Lamrook School, a co-ed prep school not far from Windsor. So picture this. One or both parents in a discreet car with security, dropping the children off like any other family, just with slightly more cameras hidden in bushes on certain days. This is one of the big ways Catherine anchors her day in normal family life. When that run is done, the switch flips from mum mode to Princess of Wales at work. 8:45 to 9:30 a.m. getting ready and final briefings. Back at home, there's a relatively short window to get hair and makeup done, sometimes by herself for low-key days, often by a professional when a big visit or speech is coming up. Outfit finalized, which is almost never last-minute guessing. Looks are chosen in advance with her team based on where she's going and who she's meeting. At the same time, she'll have briefing documents from her private secretary and staff. Background on the charities, communities, or people she's seeing that day. Key names, sensitive topics, and any recent issues she should be aware of. This is where the job is very clear. She has to walk into every room already understanding the context, so the people she meets feel seen and respected. Late morning, public engagements or desk days, 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Engagement day. On many weekdays, especially during term time, Catherine will have one or more public engagements. That could include visiting a school or early years center, opening a new hospital unit or charity facility, meeting experts on mental health, addiction, or homelessness, or hosting an event linked to her Shaping Us campaign and the Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood. A typical pattern. Travel time from Windsor or London to the site, often 30 to 90 minutes by car. Walkabout and greeting, meeting staff, volunteers, children, families. Private briefings on site, away from cameras, where she hears unfiltered stories and feedback. Sometimes a short speech or roundtable discussion with experts. These visits often look like 20 minutes on the news, but in reality they can take several hours door to door. Home office day. On days without public engagements, Catherine is rarely off. Behind the scenes, there's strategy meetings with her team about long-term projects, like her early childhood work. Calls and Zooms with academics, charity leaders, and government or NGO partners. Reviewing research papers, reports, and proposals connected to the causes she's patron of. Planning future visits, campaigns, and speeches. This is the part of her job we almost never see on camera. The slow, unglamorous work that turns a royal patronage into something with real impact. Lunch and early afternoon, 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. Lunch on a workday is usually short and functional. Depending on the schedule, Catherine might grab a quick light meal back at home or in an office space, something simple rather than a formal sit-down feast. Occasionally share lunch with William if their schedules line up and they're both working from Windsor or London that day. No, she's not being served a multi-course banquet every noon. Most of the time, it's closer to any busy professional's work lunch. Second wave of work. The early afternoon can go a few ways. Second engagement, some days involve 2 separate visits in different locations. For example, a school visit in the morning and a hospital or charity event in the afternoon. Project work, more planning and review on her long-term initiatives. Her early years work, in particular, involves coordinating with researchers, charities, and media teams. Photo and media planning. Catherine is an accomplished amateur photographer. She's often deeply involved in decisions about official family photos, campaign imagery, and how certain messages are presented to the public. Remember, the royal job is half in-person visibility, half strategy and planning behind closed doors. School pickup and family time, 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. 3 to 4 p.m. school run. Whenever possible, Catherine or William, and often one of them, will do the afternoon school pickup too. This depends on engagements and travel, of course, but it's clear they prioritize being the ones to greet the kids, hearing firsthand about their day, compressing as much normal parent life as they can into a very public existence. Security is tight, but the routine itself is intentionally ordinary. Activities, homework, and home life. Back at home, the late afternoon is typically snacks and a decompress after school. Homework time, where Catherine and William help the children with reading, projects, and revision. After-school activities, sport, music, or clubs. Catherine has talked about loving the outdoors and making sure the children spend lots of time being active. So think football in the garden, bike rides if there's time and space, playing with the dog. Simple games rather than screens all afternoon. She's also said she enjoys cooking with the kids. So you might see them helping chop vegetables safely, stirring sauces, baking simple cakes or treats together. Again, this may be a royal household, but the rhythms are very familiar to millions of parents. Evening, two very different versions, 6:30 to 10:30 p.m. Version A, normal at-home evening. Cozy B-roll, lamps on, books, family dinner table. On evenings without royal events, the pattern is surprisingly standard. 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. dinner. Family dinner when schedules allow. Catherine has mentioned they try to sit down together as much as possible. Meals that are kid-friendly but healthy. Past reporting has mentioned roast chicken, pasta, curries, and lots of vegetables. 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. bedtime routine. The younger the children, the more full-on this part of the evening is. Bedtime usually involves bath time, pajamas and toothbrushing negotiations. Story time. Catherine has talked about reading with them and encouraging a love of books. Goodnight routines and a bit of chat about the day and the next morning. For a future king and queen, these are the quietly crucial hours that matter most to them personally. Wind down and prep for tomorrow. Once the kids are in bed, Catherine finally has adult time. Evenings can include catching up with William, talking through their days, decisions, and upcoming engagements. Watching TV or a series. In previous interviews, they've mentioned enjoying box sets and light entertainment to switch off. Reading briefs for the next day's work, names, background, any sensitive issues she needs to understand fully. There may also be occasional late-night calls or check-ins with her team, especially if a big project, speech, or overseas tour is coming up. Some gentle stretching or yoga-style exercise to unwind, depending on the day. Then it's to bed, because the alarm is coming early again. Weekends and different kind of work days. Weekends and school holidays change the rhythm again. When they can, the family spends time at Windsor or at their country home at Anmer Hall in Norfolk. Weekends might include church on Sunday when they're at Sandringham. Sports and outdoor time, walks, cycling, sailing or beach trips in Norfolk. Less formal clothes, fewer cameras, and time for the kids to just be kids. But there's still royal work. Planning royal tours. Reviewing speech drafts. Quiet meetings or calls. And the constant background awareness that every move shapes the future of the monarchy. The part you never see, and why it matters. Here's the piece most people miss when they imagine a princess's daily routine. A huge amount of Catherine's work is emotional and mental, not just physical. Every day involves being on in public, smiling, listening, and comforting, even when she might be tired or stressed. Absorbing people's stories about grief, illness, addiction, poverty, trauma, and hope. Then carrying that emotional weight home while still being present as a mother and wife. So when we talk about her routine, it's not just gym, glam, shake hands, go home. It's wake up early, parent 3 children, represent an entire institution in public, do real project work behind the scenes, maintain a marriage under intense scrutiny, and prepare to be queen one day. Now I want to hear from you. What surprised you most about her routine, the normal family moments, or how much work happens away from cameras? Let me know in the comments, and tell me whose daily routine you'd like me to break down next. Prince William? King Charles? Or even Queen Camilla? If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you hit like so more royal fans see it. Subscribe to the channel. And turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video, where we'll look at how Catherine's workload compares to other working royals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.